Welcome to this Segal webinar on the Blueback Unconventional Toolbox. My name is Renee Peterson, and I am the Technical Sales Manager in North America for Segal, and I'm located in our Houston office. During these times of working from home, Segal is running a series of webinars on our different business segments. This presentation will take about 30 minutes. First, I will give a short PowerPoint introduction, and then we'll have a live demonstration of the main tool in the Unconventional Toolbox in Petrel. The webinar will be recorded, and a link to the recording will be sent out to attendees within 24 hours and will also be available on our YouTube channel. If you have questions during the presentation, please submit them using the GoToMeeting chat window, and we will follow up after the session on email. For those of you that don't know Segal, here's a short introduction to Segal. Segal was founded in 2000 as an IT services and cloud provider, and over the last 20 years, Segal has evolved into a specialist in software and cloud solution for oil and gas. Segal has grown organically and through merger and acquisition. I joined Segal when Segal acquired Blueback Reservoir in 2014, and Blueback Reservoir is also the origin of our EMP subsurface software. We have offices in all the major oil hubs around the world, and the Segal headquarters is located in Stavanger, Norway. The latest Segal expansion was the opening of our KL office last year. Segal has three main business segments. The GeoCloud is our biggest segment, and in this period where we are all working from home, our GeoCloud solution is providing its worth, enabling our clients to log on to the GeoCloud from home and have the same performance and data connectivity as if they were working from the office. In our consulting segment, we have groups of specialized IT consultants, data managers, and a large group of geoscientists assisting clients in many different areas. The last segment is our software products, where the main product line is our Blueback plugins for Petrel. And now we're going to have a closer look at one of those plugins, the Unconventional Toolbox for Petrel. This toolbox is the newest addition to our toolbox suite. It was released September last year, and as with our classical toolboxes, the tools in this Unconventional Toolbox are based on client requests. It has small to medium-sized tools that will enhance your existing Petrel workflows. The main focus of this toolbox is to provide improved ergonomics when working with lots of wells. The Unconventional Toolbox has 10 tools. The Well Data Viewer here is by far the most significant tool in this toolbox, and that is also the tool that I will be demonstrating live in a few minutes. And now I'll give a short one-slide introduction to all of these tools in this list before we move on to the live demo. The Well Data Viewer is a tool that gives you access to well data from one common user interface. The well data is organized in data tabs in this user interface, and the tabs we have in this first version are well data, well header data, deviation data, time depth relationship data, well log, well tops, production data, and global well logs. And in future releases, you will be seeing additional data tabs in this user interface. This tool is useful in any situation where you have many wells, that being conventional or unconventional. The Automated Tops Gridder is a tool that interactively grids a 2D surface of well tops as you pick the well tops in the well section window, providing instant QC and structural information about the horizon that you're picking. The Quick Mapper is a tool that quickly calculates log averages per zone and populates those averages out in 2D maps, providing fast lateral trend screening of properties. The log normalization is a tool that enables easy normalization of well logs, either with custom min and max ranges or ranges defined by known well input. The tool has various before and after QC plots. With the landing zone analysis tool, you can do analysis of zone penetration length per well per operator, and you can go in and see how well you or your competitors are at drilling horizontal wells in the target zone. When you have geology with erosion or non-deposition, you will have wells in Petrel where certain well tops are missing in the stratigraphic column. In Petrel, it is useful to have those missing tops present as collapsed tops, and the Add Missing Tops is a tool that automatically will add these missing tops as collapsed tops. Set Intersection Well is a small tool that enables you to select the well for display in an intersection window by simply clicking on the specific well in a Petrel 2D or 3D window. The Global Well Log Manager enables you to merge a set of Petrel global well logs into a new common global well log. This tool works across Petrel templates and will generate a new global well log object in the input window. The Rename tool enables automatic renaming of several objects in Petrel at the same time. It also has name pattern recognition and easy renaming of these name patterns. And finally, all our toolboxes comes with a Python tool that allows you to run advanced Python scripting inside of Petrel. And now it is time for a demo of the well data viewer. So I will go to Petrel. So here you see a project with more than 4,000 wells. To open the well data viewer, I go to the wells folder in Petrel, right click and scroll all the way down and click well data viewer. And now the well data viewer is opening for all the more than 4,000 wells in this project. So here you see the user interface of the well data viewer. Just make it a little bigger. So just all the main items. So we have the well list with all the wells in the project. We have the active well label. So we can go in and activate wells, and we're looking at data for that active well. We got the different data tabs. And for each data tab, we have a data viewing area like this. And here on top, we have a toolbar with various tools that helps us with well data. Okay, so let's go over the individual elements. So the well list, in the well list, as I said, you have, in this case, all the wells in the project. At the bottom here, you have a little summary. We have 4,366 wells in this project. One of them is highlighted. We have several highlighting mechanisms where you can highlight wells manually like this. Let's see, now we have 8 wells highlighted, and in some of the different tabs, we have some automated highlighting mechanisms based on well data content. You see we have 3 columns. We have well name, UWI, symbol, and color, and we can sort on all those 4 parameters in the well list. The data tabs. So you see that we have, for the active well, we have very easy access to the different data types and the different data tabs for the active well. It is very easy to go in, just one click and you have access to that specific data. So now we'll go over each tab individually. The well header tab, you probably recognize this section here. That is extracted directly from the Petrel well settings, and we have a shortcut to the settings for the active well. So the active well in this case is well 65. I can open up the Petrel settings for this active well by this shortcut, and you recognize exactly this piece of information that we've extracted over into the wellheader data tab. In addition to that, we've extracted some well attributes. So we have the operator, total depth, spot date, and we've also extracted the comments section of this well. Over here to the right, we've added a base map with all the location of all the wells in the well list, and you can see that the active well is highlighted here in orange. So if I just select different active wells, you can see that orange dot moves around. And you probably also saw that when we do highlighting manually here, in this case, these highlighted wells in the well list are also highlighted in the map. We can also go the other way from the map to the well list. So let me display some polygons, active leases, zoom in on an active lease here. And I want to know what wells I have in this lease, in this polygon. So I use this polygon filter. We have now these wells active, 18 wells are highlighted, and those wells are also highlighted in the well list. So you see they're distributed all over the well list. So I can click this button here that will bring all of those 18 highlighted wells to the top of my list. So let's just go back to well 65, which is my demo well. The next tab, deviation data. So you see, I will just for demo purposes, I will find a horizontal well. Here you go. So in the deviation data tab, we've extracted the deviation survey. So you got easy access to that. And in addition to that, we have a base map of the well trajectory, and we have an intersection window of the well trajectory. So you can see those trajectories and the surveys, they update as I flip through these wells. If the well has more than one active survey, you can go in. This one well doesn't, maybe this one does. You can go in, you see this one has 2 different surveys. You can go in and explore those as well. The tool will display the active deviation as default in this tab. Here at the bottom, if the well has inclination higher than whatever we specify as the heel inclination, the tool will calculate the horizontal length from the heel to the toe. And this heel inclination is editable. You can go in and define that yourself. Next tab, time depth relationship tab. So this well does not have any TDR information. So we can do one thing here. We can go in and highlight all the wells with check shots. This is one of the automatic highlighting mechanisms. And you saw we had the base map sitting in the header tab. This base map is useful in all the tabs. So I can hit this button here that will pop out that base map from the header tab. So we have access to it in the other tab. So it's now a floating window. And when I hit this button here, the tool will find all the wells that has check shots and highlight those in my well list. And you also see all those wells, those 662 wells that has check shot data has been highlighted in the base map. So let me just close that base map again. So back for demo purposes, I'll go to my well 65. Here we go. So what this tab is doing, it is identifying the active one-way time log that has been generated when you specified the time depth relationship in the Petrel well folders. So when you run that, it generates an active one-way time log that is being used as the time depth relationship. The tool identifies that one-way time log, goes into the history of that one-way time log, and identifies the time depth relationship source. And in this case, for this well, it is a checkshot data set. So for that TDR source, we extract the checkshot spreadsheet with the depth, the times, and the velocities. And we're giving you the average velocity, interval velocity, and one-way time velocity tracks. We can display well tops on those tracks if we want to. Oops, come on. Like this. If the well or any other well has other time depth relationship sources, we can go in and explore those as well. So this well has well tops with associated two-way times. So for that, we extract those depths and times, and we actually calculate the average velocity and the interval velocity in the same way as Petrel calculates it for check shots. And we are able to give you the average velocity, interval velocity, and one-way time traces for this kind of data as well. And the same goes for a two-way time log. We have the times and the depths, and we calculate the velocities for you as well. Next tab is the well logs tab. In the well logs tab, you see we have three sub tabs here: single log, multi-log, and matrix crossplot. In the single log tab, we get a list of all the logs that are present in this well. So we can go in and explore each of these logs. We can select them, and we get the log track displayed over here. We can again display well tops if we want to. And we also get the log spreadsheet with the measure depth and the values. So you can go in and do a quick exploration of these logs. You can also go in, so for example, for this log quick perm, I want to know all the wells that has this specific log. So we have the selected log. I will highlight wells with the selected log, and that is 401 wells in this project that has this log present. And then when we have this situation, we can also go in and do some simple well-to-well comparison of that selected log. I can highlight a few of the wells that has that log and click this compare wells button. That gives me a simple well log panel with the wells that I selected and the wells that I highlighted and the log that I selected. And I can go in and do a quick comparison between wells, and I can display well tops on this window as well. In the multi-log tab, you can go in and compare multiple logs from the same well. So in this case, the active well. I can go in here, add some more continuous logs, and also discrete logs like this for comparison and analysis. And if I toggle on the matrix crossplot, you see that here we generate all the potential or the possible 2D crossplots between the continuous logs that we added to this multi-log tab. We can go in and color by the different log properties that we have in this well. And we can also go in and filter on certain discrete classes in this crossplot as well. If I want to have a closer look at one of the crossplots, like maybe this one is interesting, I can double click and the tool magnifies that specific 2D crossplot, and we can go in and do look at this crossplot. Well tops. So in the well tops tab, the tool extracts all the well top sets that are present in this active well. So in this case, this well has 3 well top sets or 3 well tops folders, missing well tops UC and well tops 1. And you see we've extracted the well top spreadsheet and the zone spreadsheet for each of these well top sets. So you get very easy access to this information from the well tops, and you can also go in and do some automatic highlighting, I want to know all the wells that has these two tops present. I can select those tops and hit highlight wells with selected tops, and the tool will identify all the wells that has these two tops present. And that in this case is 1,434 wells. Production data. So in the production data tab, we identify all the wells that has an observed data set. So we can go in and highlight wells with production. In this case, that is 17 wells in this project. We can bring them to the top of my list again. Select well 100. And as I said, we are in this version looking at observed data sets. We extract all the production information in the table in the observed data set spreadsheet. From the spreadsheet, we are extracting gas, oil, and water daily production and list that in this plot here. And also we add it up and have the cumulative production for the active well. And again, we can do some simple well-to-well comparison. I can go in and highlight several wells that I know has this observed data set and click the compare wells button, which gives me this block diagram. I need to put in an oil equivalent factor, show values. And here you have the cumulative production, gas, oil, and water for these 4 wells in block diagrams for quick comparison. The last tab, the global logs tab, you see that sits by itself over here to the right because the data viewing approach is different than the tabs that we went over already. So these tabs, they look at data only for the active well, whereas the global well logs tab, that looks at all the global well logs in your Petrel project. So here you see it's doing a well count per global well log. We have different columns. We have the global well log name. You can sort on the global well log name. We have template, and we can sort on that, and that's very nice. So you get all your different properties lined up. We have units, min, max, and delta, and well count. And you can also sort on those columns. So here we have the well count, and we've sorted on the well count. That gives you the number of wells per global well log. And here we can do some a little bit more sophisticated well highlighting based on log content. So for example, if I want to know all the wells that has a certain log suite, for example, gamma ray SL, gamma ray SLE, and gamma ray Vint, I can go in, highlight, select those log templates, and highlight all the wells that has all of these 3 logs present. That is 566 wells in my project. I can also, so all of these 566 wells has all of these 3 logs present. I can also go in and do an OR, highlight all the wells that has any of these 3 logs. So 2,237 wells has either one of these logs. We've also added a depth interval filter. So if I want to know a certain log suite, for example, I want to go in and see the wells that has VP and VS, highlight those wells. That is 127 wells, but I also want to know, are these logs that I'm interested in, are they present in my reservoir interval, for example? So I can go in and use this depth interval filter based on 2D surfaces. I want to know if these logs are present in this specific interval, and run this highlight wells again. And now you see that the number of wells with these wells present in this interval, these logs present in this interval, dropped to 61 wells. So let's just have a quick look at some of the tools that we have in this toolbar. So let me bring all these 61 wells to the top of my list. Let me close these existing windows. So we can broadcast or send these highlighted wells into Petrel windows. So we can send them, for example, into a 2D window. So here you see those 61 wells quickly displayed in the 2D window. We can send them to a 3D window like this. I can also send them into a well section window. Let me just reduce the number of wells just for demoing here. So in the sending these wells, we'll also be sending the selected logs into the well section window. So here I am sending the highlighted wells and the selected logs into a well section display directly for display. So you saw that we can go from the well data viewer to Petrel windows, but we can also go the other way. If we want to set our active well by clicking on a well in a Petrel window, we can go in and toggle this link tab here. And by that, I can then go in and select the active well by clicking on it in a Petrel window. So now we clicked on a well. That well is now active 843. The well is not present here in the well list because where is it? We can hit this little shortcut that will scroll the well list so that the active well is on top of the list. And just another example, click on another well here, and we can quickly identify that active well in the global well logs tab. Okay, so you saw that in the different tabs, we have these highlighting mechanisms, a relatively simple well filtering operation based on data content. We also have a more sophisticated filtering mechanism, so we can click this filter menu. It takes a few seconds to open. In this filter menu, we have access to filter on all the well attributes that we have in the project, if the well has that specific attribute present. So you see we've got all the attributes: name, UWI, symbol, operator, spot date, and so on. We also added a polygon filter, and we also added the ability to filter on number of points in the deviation survey. So with this filter here, you can, for example, easily identify all the wells that has quickly been added to your project with 2 points, a well header and a TD, for example. The wells that does not have a real deviation survey. So let's try and go in and make a simple filter. I want to see all the horizontal wells for a specific operator. So I go in and filter on operator, deselect all and select Ewing oil, filter. Ewing oil has 924 wells in this project. And now I will filter on increment to identify the horizontal wells. So I'll go in and add a filter. I want to see all the wells that has inclination greater than 80 degrees. And now we reduced down to 88 wells. I click OK here. And now my well list in my well data viewer is reduced to those 88 wells, and I can go in and explore those wells easily. We have a save subset mechanism that saves the highlighted well list as a little well subset. So I can go in, highlight all my wells, save this subset. I will call that Ewing oil horizontal wells. Close. Excuse me. This well subset is saved here in a subfolder in the wells folder in Petrel. Let's just close this window. So here you see I've had some addition previous made well subsets. I can go in the one we just created, look at the number of the well content in this well subsets, and we can do a few simple operations with this well subset. So for example, I can display all the wells easily by right clicking. So now we're displaying the wells in this well subsets. I can also generate a point set for these wells in this well subset. So we can generate a Petrel point set at the top of the base of vertical wells and at the heel, the mid, and the toe. For horizontal wells, in this case, we'll generate it for the toe. And here you see that we now quickly generated a Petrel point set at the toe of these wells in this well subset. it automatically opens the settings for the point set, so I can go in and enable the annotation, and I'll go down, scroll down, and find my well subset, and I can change the annotation to the name of the well subset. So that gives you an alternative way or an additional way of labeling wells in your Petrel windows, for example. So these well subsets can also be read by some of the other tools in the unconventional toolbox. So you access the other tools in the unconventional toolbox here from the Marina menu. Go to the Blueback toolbox. That opens up the toolbox menu, and I'll filter on the unconventional toolbox tools already. Here you see all the other tools that we covered in the PowerPoint. And if I, for example, go to Quick Mapper and just delete the wells that I selected already, here in the wells selection box, you can see that we have access to selecting these well subsets. So if you did a well filtering based on certain data content in the well data viewer and save these well subsets, you can load wells very fast with the right wells into some of the tools in the unconventional toolbox. So you see that well data browsing in Petrel becomes quite a lot easier with the well data viewer, and making tedious workflows in standard Petrel easier is also what we have tried to do with all the other tools in the unconventional toolbox. Take something that is very mouse intensive in standard Petrel and make it a lot easier to do. That's kind of been the main approach for these tools in the unconventional toolbox. So quickly back to the PowerPoint. If you've submitted questions during the presentation in the chat window, we will answer those by email. You can also subsequently submit questions to this webinar at segal.com email address, and we'll address those as well. And as I said in the beginning, an email with a link to a recording of this webinar will be sent out by email within 24 hours. And by that, I will say thank you for watching and have a nice day.